Hey yo, welcome back. Happy Monday. Today we have some more Muslim spoken word, and the title here is The Greatest Woman. We saw Muslim spoken word last week. It was titled The Meaning of Life. It was really beautiful, very, very poetic. I was asking the poet's name, and it was explained to me in the comments that the reason that his name is left out is that because what he's doing in poetic form, it's not about him. It's about speaking the word of God, the will of God. It's about the belief system in Islam. It's not about him as a person. So I really respect that. That's a very honorable thing to do. So I do know his name, but I won't mention it because I don't I don't want to go against his wishes if that is his wish. But what I can tell you is that he is an amazing poet, and if you have not seen The Meaning of Life by him, it is it's really incredible. I would even go as far as to say that it is stunning. Many of you had asked me to read the Quran, and so I did start to read it. I found the English translation online, and during that time, I started to realize that I don't really have a starting point. I really don't know what's going on. But I know I'm very familiar with Dr. Jordan Peterson. I've been listening to him for a long time, and I saw that he had conversations with a man named Muhammad Hijab, who is a philosopher. I believe he's also an author, a public speaker, an expert on Islam and the Quran. And it was a very interesting the conversation that I was listening to, and I was starting to get an understanding of the difference between Christianity and Islam. I'm very familiar with Christianity. I was raised in a Christian home, so I know quite a bit about that. I've read the entire New Testament before, but admittedly, I am not a devout Christian. I do not go to church. I do believe in God 100%. I don't know. I don't know where I fell off along the way or what happened, but I still try to live by those core values of the Ten Commandments and the teachings of Jesus. So, with that said, I am ready to get into this. I'm very excited to hear this poetry. So let's go, man.
Something must be wrong when almost every single song has sex as its basis. When rap stars get famous after making lyrics that are shameless. When a woman is expected to sleep with a man who doesn't even know what her name is. And when artists are paid to degrade the very woman that have made them. To the point they are nothing more than pieces of plastic that we can dispose of once they are no longer attractive. It's sickening and sadistic that this world's become so misogynistic. And you can call me unrealistic, but just listen to the statistics.
Yeah, so he came out of the gate with truth there. It's the older I get, especially as I do have concerns about just how popular music, especially with hip hop and rap, it's extremely degrading to women, and that includes the female rappers. The things that they say, I'm familiar with Cardi B, and I think Megan Thee Stallion. Like, I've seen video clips and heard some of the lyrics, and quite frankly, it's disgusting. I don't believe that any ladies need to be hearing that. It is the complete opposite of an honorable and good lifestyle, and it is going to do nothing but cause harm. So yeah, I appreciate him coming out of the gate like that, but let's go.
And you can call me unrealistic, but just listen to the statistics. 7 in 10 men view porn, while over 75 million are addicted. 68 million requests a day for pornographic pictures, making 1 in 4 searches sexually related. It's like nobody even knew she existed until she got naked, degraded and abused over and over again just to gain millions of views. It's a shame we've subdued to a definition of beauty which is so misconstrued. As we judge each other's looks off of Facebook likes, Instagram pictures to filter off what we really look like. See, we are so obsessed with our outside, we have slowly lost sight.
I don't want to interrupt this man too much or pause it too much here, but what he was saying about the porn addiction. I don't remember his name. He is a neuroscientist, but he was speaking about the negative effects on pornography, and more specifically to men. It lowers your testosterone. It makes it very difficult for you to connect with a woman in real life. You become, and you have these unrealistic expectations. And it was a very long discussion, but regardless of your religious belief, it is scientifically it is bad for you as a man for sure. But let's go, man.
See, we are so obsessed with our outside, we have slowly lost sight of who we really are in real life. I mean, it's sad to see so many teens lose their self-esteem. Looking at these magazines thinking they have to look like what they see. Please, you are worth much more than a 2D image on a screen. You are a living, breathing human being. If only you knew what you really mean. Just look into your history books and begin to read of all the girls in the world who are capable to achieve, and you will surely see with certainty females like Fatima al-Fihri, who opened the first ever university, Rufayda al-Islamiyya, the first nurse to perform surgery, and Aisha bint Abi Bakr, the greatest female scholar in eternity. It's a shame you probably haven't even heard of these great female prodigies. Honestly, we don't need to give up our modesty in order to be successful, for you are worth much more than a commodity that is sexual. You have so much more potential if only you knew your worth. You could be like the greatest of all women to have walked this earth, like Mary, the mother of Jesus, chosen by Allah to be an example for the believers, a woman who stood strong even when she was abused, falsely accused and ridiculed for things she'd never ever do, so it didn't really matter when there was nobody else beside her, for she knew that God was Ar-Razzaq and her ultimate provider, and she had to trust in Him alone. Just like Asiya, the wife of Fir'aun, a woman who was brave and courageous, stood up for what was right and didn't let anybody change this, a woman who was fearless and laughed in the face of death, for she gave up the riches of this life for a palace in the next. Next up, Khadija, the mother of the believers, a wealthy merchant who had nurtured the Prophet for over 25 years, his first wife, the love of his life, and the mother of his kids. She was the first to believe in him when nobody else ever did. She just is. Beyond any words that can make you understand. So much so that even Allah sent her His salam. She was grand and Allah assured her, just like her daughter, Fatima, the master of all women in paradise, a woman who would shine so bright she was nicknamed as Zahra, the splendid one with the most generous of hearts, a woman who gave up so much of her food she had no choice but to fast. She would fight on behalf of her father even as a little girl. And such are the examples of the greatest woman in the entire world. And it had nothing to do with how they looked, but for who they truly were. So ignore the standard of
Man, I just usually I pause it to speak and to commentate as any video that we do, but I really did not want to interrupt him. But just to go back a little bit, when I was younger, in my teenage years, 20s, and that time frame, it seemed completely normal to me. If you go to the beach or somewhere like that and you see women wearing G-string bikinis and things like that. But now that I'm older, I don't like it. I do not care for that at all. I do believe that women are a precious treasure, especially to their husbands when they are married. There's no need for anyone to see them like that. I would never try to infringe on someone's rights to do that or to confront them or anything like that. But for me personally, I don't care for that, and I don't want to see it. It's my wife is my wife. I only need my wife. That is truly how I feel. I wanted to touch on that. The other women that he listed, women of Islam that have had great accomplishments. I have a lot of reading and research to do, obviously, but I'm picking up on that. These cool facts that he's dropping while he's doing this, and we saw that in the meaning of life as well, where I believe it's in the Quran. It is where it is written. It was talking about the sperm entering the leech, and it was about an embryo. That was crazy. I did not know that at all. So I love the way that he performs this. It seems, in a sense, a similar format to the last time. He's telling you the real facts about the real world that we live in now, and then he goes and then starts to get a bit more into the Quran and to Islam history and the Word of God on how to overcome those problems. So I do like that. But yeah, let's go, man.
Who they truly were. So ignore the standard of success defined by society, when God has said that the best of mankind are those who have piety, regardless of your shape, your color, or your race. For God does not look at your bodies, nor does he look at your face. Rather, he looks towards your heart and checks your faith. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the people say or who they think you are, when you could be like the greatest of all women in the eyes of Allah. The greatest woman.
Wow, I like the way that he closed that out. That was awesome. Yeah, my mind's going all over the place. I really enjoy this guy. I love his poetry. I wish he was my neighbor so I could talk to him and just ask him questions and educate myself about Islam and just at a base level. Like I said, I was born into a Christian home. I've been to church many times, to Bible camps, Bible study, and I'm definitely seeing many similarities. I know that it's not the same thing. I do know this, but I think the general moral statement, the moral compass, to have a good heart and to be a good and just person, I believe that those are one and the same message, and I do like that a lot. I need to finish the conversation that I was listening to with Dr. Jordan Peterson and Mohammed Hijab. I was listening to it today when I was driving around at work, and it was extremely interesting. I really, really enjoyed it. If you guys have any more requests from Talk Islam, please let me know. I really do enjoy these a great deal. So just let me know, and I'll see you guys on the next one.